Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me and spending a little time. I appreciate it. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr., and this is my review of Boys in the Hood, a little film from 1991. In my humble opinion, one of the best films of the 90s. And there was a lot of great black films coming out in the late 80s, early 90s. Robert Townsend was making some great comedic films, movies like 1987's Hollywood Shuffle. I really enjoy his dramatic movies also, like The Five Heartbeats. And of course, Spike Lee, when he exploded onto the scene in 1986 with movies like She's Gotta Have It, and then 1989 with Do the Right Thing. I think that, whole sort of market was born because, or people realized anyways, that there was a market for films like this because after this film after Do the Right Thing got so much uh, critical acclaim from mainstream movie critics, mainly Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert had it on his had Do the Right Thing on his number one spot for his best films of 1989. So because of such high praise, I think more studios were greenlighting films, urban films, and thankfully, John Singleton, the great John Singleton, was able to get his career started, and Boys in the Hood was his very first film. And I do consider this to be his masterpiece. But John Singleton has many great films. I really love Poetic Justice, released in '93. In 1995, he came out with Higher Learning, another great drama, and also features Lawrence Fishburne and Ice Cube. And I even enjoy his later works, Baby Boy, Shaft, released in 2000, starring Samuel L. Jackson. Four Brothers, good Mark Wahlberg drama. For me, Four Brothers is very reminiscent, almost feels like a remake of a Western, a John Wayne Western, with a very similar plot, The Sons of Katie Elder. So, yeah, I don't know how many go far back. I don't go that far back, but I do watch. I just watched a lot of movies. But yeah, after Boys in the Hood came out and was such a huge success, all of a sudden there were a lot more movies like this, and it's a shame that they don't make more movies like this anymore because we used to get so many films, movies like Menace to Society, and movies like Panther. Um, Not to mention, shit, I feel like I'm forgetting one. Dead Presidents, another really great drama, came out in '95. And yeah, it's just a shame, because like I said, there were so many great black directors coming on the scene, and the out of all these directors, I think John Singleton was very consistent in terms of always putting out a really great movie. And this is one of those great coming of age stories that, yeah, it's told through a different lens that I think most people are familiar with. And so it's a very eye-opening experience. And for many people, this is very heavy subject matter. It is a drama of just tragic uh, occurrences in everyday life, which is part of real life. Part of real life is, it's sad at times, very can be funny. There can be levity in real life, but much like in real life, anything can happen, and that's what this film captures so well. The sense of that you can be walking down the street, on your way to the store, and you might not even make it back home. So um, not every neighborhood has that problem, but this is the kind of movie that was perfect at the right time, that we really needed, because this was something that every city has neighborhoods like this, or countries. The ghettos are worldwide, and these kind of stories, they need to be told because real people in real life live through these, kinds of things every day. And in the midst of all that, there are, real families, and, fathers and sons and mothers and daughters and friends. And there's a great coming of age story here with the three, the trio, the main trio, which is Cuba Gooding Jr., Maurice Chestnut, Ice Cube. Ice Cube gives a really good performance for his first time out as an actor. And it's not surprising that he went on to have such a great career, because, in his very first role, he completely he sells it. And he, that persona from his rapping days very much carried through. And I think when he did this film, he already was out of NWA, but he had started his solo career already. And speaking of Ice Cube, this movie has a really great soundtrack, much like the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack really captures that time and era. The soundtrack to this movie does, in the same kind of fashion, capture this era, just by not just the clothes and everything, but, having some Too Short in there, some Tony Tone, Ice Cube himself. I think I even remember some Nucleus in there, some Jam On It in there, and some 2 Live Crew. There's some good stuff to be had in there. If you like hip hop, old school rap, really fun soundtrack. And of course, Lawrence Fishburne in the role of Furious Styles is amazing. He's always amazing. So is Angela Bassett. This movie has such a great cast. I mean, Angela Bassett is always really great. She's great in, I really enjoy her in, What's Love Got to Do with It. And I even love her in movies like Vampire in Brooklyn. To be honest, I'm a sucker for that movie. I love Wes Craven. So, to me, those are the movies from the childhood that I used to watch over and over again. A lot of great movies like this. They used to come out almost every year, and now it's not so much. And every now and then we'll get something. Every now and then we'll get like a Straight Outta Compton or something. But they're few and far between now. But I'm so glad that this movie was a success, because had it not been, we wouldn't have got movies like, even like the funny versions of movies like this, like a movie like F. Gary Gray's Friday. I have a friend of mine, shout out Cameron. A friend of mine believes that Friday is very much drama. And I, after thinking about it, I pretty much I can see where he's coming from, because it really, when you look at both movies, they pretty much do have the same message, which is, just put down the fucking guns. I mean, life is hard enough. We really want to settle something. Like what does he say, Pops? This what makes you a man. You win some, you lose some. But yeah, very true words from Mr. John Witherspoon. And Friday just had the comedic angle, but both films do have the same message. And it's a shame we don't get more content like this anymore. I want more stories about everyday neighborhoods being told, because it's cool to see representation of things that we know. That was one of the cool things about seeing a movie like this, back in the day, was that we all had, either if you didn't live in an area like this, you spent time in an area like this at one point or another, depending on, who your friends were. And myself, being friends with all kinds of people, every now and then I'd find myself in not the best, neighborhoods, just because, your friends are your friends. But I had, it's funny. I saw this movie for the first time at the age of 8, and with two friends of mine that were about the same age, and I don't think they were allowed to watch stuff like this. I grew up with watching movies like, Scarface and The Untouchables, Godfather and Goodfellas and all that. So this was, I guess, just normal kind of, viewing at my house. But this particular night, my sister rented this movie. I think she rented it because she was talking about it. She had seen it at a movie theater with some cousins in Oakland, and I guess they had a pretty eventful night. It was an interesting experience they had. I'm not going to get into that, but long story short, she enjoyed the movie, and so she rented it, and I watched it with my two young friends who just happened to be a couple of the only two white kids that I ever really knew as a young kid, because most of my friends, people that I knew were mostly, they were all either black or Latino, but I knew these kids from my mom. My mom had this best friend, and shout out if you guys are out there, Amy and Galen. I'm sure Galen got a lot of hell for that name. Hopefully not, Galen. Nothing but love for you. But yeah, you guys showed me Teen Wolf and Superman 4. And I love Teen Wolf. Superman 4, love me Christopher Reeve. Not the best Superman movie, but this was my sort of paying them back. I'm going to show you guys a movie, even though I hadn't really seen the movie. I just heard about it. But we had it, we rented it, we put it on, and it was really funny seeing their reactions throughout the movie. Like, they were so shocked, like in so many scenes. They had no idea what we were going to watch. And right off the bat, when the movie starts and there's these little kids on screen cursing, because the movie begins and the trio, they start out as kids, and then we see them. There's a time jump not too long after when the first act becomes the second act, and then we see them as grown-ups. But all the profanity, the scenes of, every now and then there's something violent that happens. Yeah, these kids had no idea what they were in for. So I think by the time the movie was over, they had learned something. I think they learned that not every neighborhood was like theirs. If anything, if they took away anything, I'm pretty sure that's one of the things they took away from this movie. And yeah, not everybody has the same kind of, we don't all, have the white picket fence and perfect neighbors and all that. Some of us, got to be home before the street light turns off, because once it gets dark, you don't want to be outside. And yeah, just, everybody, if you're trying to get out of a neighborhood like that, work that 9-to-5 job and hold on to that dream and get the fuck out. Save up some money and move, I don't know, wherever the fuck you got to go to, live to see another day. That's right. Just like Pop said, you want to live to see you fight another day. That's a terrible impression. Sorry. But yeah, BOYZ N THE HOOD, 1991. Great drama. And it's one of those movies, once you watch it, you can't unwatch it. It's got a great message. And it's entertaining. And yeah, one of the best of the 90s. So check it out. If you can't find it on streaming, not that long ago, I remember seeing it on Blu-ray. Blu-ray. On Hulu. But speaking of Blu-ray, they exist. I got mine. It's out there. So yeah, there's Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding, Maurice Chestnut, and yeah, Regina King is in this movie. She does a great job too. Oscar winner Regina King. Man, that's a loud engine. I wish I could tape off the street, like, not let cars pass by when I'm recording. But life doesn't revolve around these little shitty videos, I guess. Not everybody has to. Yeah, okay, whatever. I should just go outside and let everybody know before I film one of these. Can nobody drive past my house? I doubt they'd listen. All right. So, appreciate you for spending a little time with me. Thank you. Hearing about another one of these old classics, modern classics. So yeah, look out for more reviews. I'm gonna keep this going, because this is what I do when I'm alone and the family is gone, and well, among other things, I think I'm also gonna watch something on HBO Max. There's a lot of good movies on there right now. I don't work for any of these fucking streaming companies. Just letting you guys know. But yeah, thank you very much. And like, subscribe, comment, share, all that would be awesome. I would very much appreciate any of that. And if not, it's all good. It is what it is. Ain't no pressure. Ain't no pressure. Ain't no thing. Okay? So, isn't that what the kids say? Is that what the kids say these days? I don't know what the kids say. I'm not very hip. Oh, no, I was kidding. All right. So, thank you very much. Appreciate it. God bless. Till next time. Sayonara.